and welcome everybody. This is Thomas together with Craig, Brian, and Sam, the man.
Hey guys.
We're going to have a quick, or hopefully quick, client meeting and focus on prioritizing some stories in Pivotal Tracker. And Sam, do you want to share your screen perhaps?
I do. I was just inviting Sly to join us as well. Yeah, let's go to share screen.
And I'm switching over to you.
There we go. Screen one, share. Let's go. Yeah, so we had the client meeting the other day, and we did the accepting and rejecting, and we overlooked. Well, we were having lots of other general chat. I overlooked what we should also be doing, which is reviewing the relative priority of different elements in the system. So I guess what we usually do is we miss out stuff in current. I mean, current, that's stuff that's already underway. So I guess I shall just flash my eyes over that. So event page times of the user times and UTC. That sounds like a great thing. Yeah, that's all. Good member counts to users index. Create page for Scrum videos. I mean, I think that the as a discussion I've been having with Nick, the actual number of members is not, the number of people who've decided to log in and create an account is not necessarily a good reflection of the number of people who are active. But anyway, we've talked about we want to get more people active in the projects. Scrum videos, that would be great. Show current live sessions, great. GitHub commit count on profile page, fair enough. Handle nil, there's bug issues. Document updates history, okay. The Pulse statistics activity page for project developers, that's interesting. Search filtering for users index, documents management state, okay. All right, so the next, the kind of upcoming things in the backlog, we've got start Hangout capability for each pending hookup. Okay, that sounds like this new version of the events page, I guess. John is working on this.
Let's see here. How to log in using. Yeah, but Brian, correct me if we did stop everything that had to do with events. Why is this still around?
I'm not clear. I think we left something here.
Why do you want to necessarily stop everything regarding events?
Oh, because we weren't sure about what all these stories were supposed to do, and some of them seem ridiculously outdated.
Okay. I mean, I think, particularly while Thomas has been away, I mean, John Engelbert came in with a lot of energy talking about a new view for the events page to try and make it easier for people to see what was going on and, join new things. And I spent a lot of time with him on the interfaces and so on for that, and I would say that it would be great if his work could continue in that regard.
No, I'm not saying that he should stop. It's just that because it was cluttering up the entire backlog and some of the
Okay, sure. So no, you had
I just moved them away
into the Xbox. No, fair enough. Yeah. Okay, but yeah. So this seemed.
I got to say that there seemed to be some sort of a ambiguity. Are we working with the back end, the models? Are we working with an interface thing? There's so many. Stories that it's that deal with events being called hookups or live sessions or not, so we felt that we need to have a discussion, and I was hoping that because we scheduled that Jan will return to us in a dev meeting and present his thoughts about this events in a broader perspective. That's why we kind of put everything on hold. So that's why I'm kind of surprised that this one is still around, actually. But
yeah. I mean, I think this overhaul of the events thing is very important, and we do seriously need it. And John's put a lot of work into it. But yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible that it's sort of we have got this events epic, which I don't know if this one. I mean, I guess there's confusion here about what's this events and hookups and so on. So yeah, I guess again, this is the kind of thing that if people's stories are being moved out of the backlog, then I think it's important to. I don't know. You've spoken to John about this, and he understands that you're not kind of just throwing it out. That he understands that it's just a part of a reorganization, and we want to be clear about the work that's undergoing, right?
I don't think we actually spoke to him. We were hoping to do that in a dev meeting last Saturday and this Wednesday, but he wasn't there. So But good point, fair enough. We need to update those stories with an action item to to talk to. Yeah.
Yes. I think okay. Well, I'll make sure to reach out to John as well myself. But yeah, so I think it's the kind of thing. Yeah. As long as and Sly's joining us, great. He's having problems with his browser.
Hi, I'm here.
Hey, Sly, glad you could join us. Yes, we're just talking about so the rearrangement of the tracker that I guess Brian and Thomas were doing about how moving the event stories out of the backlog because they were kind of confused about what the overall plan there is for that. And I was just expressing my concern. Important to have John Engelbert in the loop because I know he's been working hard a lot on these different things, and he and I have had a lot of discussions about interfaces. And I think it's also important that the events page gets updated. But yeah, I will. I'll do a call out to him. Okay. So is this then one? This obviously hasn't been started. Do you wanted to move this back into the Icebox then?
I would say yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let me do that. So John, moving this back into the Icebox as Thomas and Brian want to get clear on the big picture. The events overhaul is still very important to me. See if you can arrange to join a dev meeting with Brian and Thomas. Okay. Let's put that up there. Okay.
So I would say that we can unestimate it, because it's estimated to 2 points. But I would say that as we did with the other stories that deal with
yeah. Okay. So I would say here again, rather than necessarily underestimating it, we'd maybe like to take another vote on this.
Okay. Fair enough.
To get everyone in the loop. Hope to see you in a scrum sometime soon. So again, rather than sort of doing it unilaterally, I think it's kind of, and it may be John comes back and so that's fine, that's no problem, and it may be that we don't hear from him for a week, and I know he's been going for jobs and so on, and ultimately that will be fine. But I would always tend to caution on the side of let's try and involve the people who've created things in that process. Yeah. Okay. So then we've got fix UI mistakes and bloopers. So we've got a whole series of chores here.
Yeah, and me and Brian decided that we should split this up into several stories. So this
I was going to say, yeah, absolutely.
I made a note of that.
Okay.
So it's in process.
I see that. Okay. Yeah. So I think that these are, and some of them are like trivial things. Other ones, unifying the way that it seems like there's some kind of bug for the not the videos that we would expect to be appearing, like the autograder client things and so on. They're just not appearing in the right places.
Yeah, that's a different story. It's not a UI thing, but
right. So it's kind of but yeah. So yes, so some of these, like this one, could be a completely separate feature. Other one, okay. So there's kind of like a triage there. So arguably with this one. Yeah, the key thing there is the triage of this into a series of actual stories. Then we've got introducing new static pages, how to be an adventurer, and revamp old ones. Okay, yeah, and so this I would agree. I think there's just a general agreement that although I love that Yarrow put together the getting started document, there generally seems to be agreement that it needs to be broken up and so on. So. I guess with these,
I would suggest, if I just cut in, I would suggest moving this one into the Icebox, because we haven't come to that yet. But I understand that redesigning the landing page is also a priority for us, or would be. So
well, it's an interesting question there about whether we try and add the text that that would make this current landing page work better as a short-term fix,
perhaps.
Yeah, as I said to you in the previous client meeting, I've failed to produce sufficient volumes of text for this. I have. I think I did work on making a one for code and getting it started, but I'm not convinced that this ends up being high enough quality for that place. But yeah, the simple thing, we've got kind of like, I guess we're sort of bleeding at the moment and have been for a while, in as much as the main Angel Ventures page, people come, and I'm sure some number of people, not everybody, but some of the people click on these things, and they're kind of confused by being taken to the, so yeah, I guess we've got to. It certainly seems like the fastest thing we could do is try and come up with, more text for these pages.
But how about you and I, commit to have something, a draft or something in Google Docs for next Wednesday, and that if possible, if you could join either if we do it on Euroscrum on Wednesday, or if you could join our dev meeting on Wednesday, we could just settle for something and then just update those pages.
Yeah, I could certainly try. I mean, I'd say it's not through lack of trying. I mean, I generated this one. I think let's rather than doing in Google Docs, let's do it in these pages.
All right.
Right, because they can be linked in. I mean, yeah, we can take it. I mean, that's a reasonable thing. Let's take another pass at it. I'm not guaranteed that I will have generated anything of sufficient quality to be used by next Wednesday.
That's the purpose of commitment, that you actually commit to something.
Right. Well, indeed. What I'm saying is that I can commit to taking another pass on it, but I think the decision that we may make next Wednesday may be to say that we can't generate stuff that's or at least I personally can't. But for example, Brian, if you wanted to, this was my starting take on this. If you wanted to read, or anybody wanted to read this and kind of say, oh, well, that's enough, and or add another paragraph until it will be enough, then that would be fantastic. I mean, I feel a bit guilty because but it's Anyway, I guess we've got this to the two different directions in this are that even if these pages were a thing, there has to be a pull request that actually links up those circles to those pages. Yeah. So certainly that could be put into the. I don't know. I think. I would be tempted to keep this here as kind of maybe almost that's one of our high priorities.
Sure.
It needs to be done. And then there's like a refactor authentications controller. Fair enough.
That's something that John is working on, right? We have this work in progress pull request we spoke to him about. We need to close that.
Yeah. But okay. Yeah, I'll see your message now.
Okay. All right, so if we just look through the Icebox, I mean, I guess we've got this. There is this issue of project descriptions. Whether we use TinyMCE or not is a completely different matter. This is the one Nick has added. TinyMCE for project descriptions. I guess is there an issue why Mercury can't be quickly used for the project description thing?
No, there's no issue.
Okay, all right.
Not the way I see it. We can implement it rather fast.
Sure. I'm just wondering if we've got. I mean.
Oh, he linked to that story in his new story actually. As if you open the TinyMCE project description story, he has. I think there's a link to. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So.
Okay. The Mercury editor for project description.
So I would say we could take a vote on this one, so we can move it to the backlog.
Well, I think, given my time limit, what I would say is let me get a number of things in the backlog that I think are the the priorities.
And then we can take a vote afterwards.
You guys can take a vote on it separately.
Gotcha.
But
I agree.
I mean, I would say the key thing here is, actually at the level of this, we shouldn't be specifying that it's the Mercury editor. We should say that we need an editor. Let's say, right?
Okay.
Rich text editor.
Yeah.
We have an editor, which is just
right. Okay. So let's put that in there, and then we've got an issue of, options include existing Mercury editor or TinyMCE. I think the important thing for Nick, I guess if he was recording, is I mean, I think if you guys went ahead and did the Mercury editor one, that's not that we wouldn't switch to TinyMCE in the future. It's just like, from the context of the project, it's like what can we get immediately done, to manage the thing. So I think, yeah, let's save that. Let's drag that into. I'm not saying that's incredibly high priority, but just of the things I've been. Let's look through some more here. So, and then we've got, you know, see also. I think it's, you know, particularly given that Nick's done some work on it, it's, you know, it's important to try and involve him and you know, try and make use of his work if at all possible. So project landing page, yeah, that's huge. I guess that ends up being lower down than the editor for the project description, because yeah, that would be a relatively simple fix compared to that. User can follow event. I don't see that at the moment as particularly important, but maybe it will become important. Co-founders, team members, testimonials. That'd be lovely to have. I don't see it as immediate bleed. And of course, everyone, you know, if I'm going over stuff and you're like, no, hey, that's really important to me, then do shout out. So I guess the event. I think this one. You know, let's cut the difference, put in there. I think a list of, you know, what are the currently active hookups, so that people can kind of see what's going on, is really important.
Yeah, but we already, that's a bit of a problem with this story and many of other stories that involve events. That and Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a pull request from Yarrow that deals with this already. I mean, the live sessions.
Yeah.
The language is different, you know, but basically we're talking about the same thing, and and we have that on develop already, right?
Not yet. Where it should be merged in soonish.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, we have it on development, but he's got another refactoring on top of that.
Yeah. So you see, Sam, that's why we need to get a cleaning process.
No, I understand. Sure, but okay, so maybe
because, yeah, for instance, that story that is delivered, it was said that to show live sessions, you know, on all live sessions that is going on right now, but the delivery was live and previous sessions, you know. So that's how we kind of overlap each other in you know, different stories overlap each other.
Right, but so okay, I mean, what we okay, we've got show current live sessions.
Yeah, but now if you see
and that's
down, it's live and previous. You know?
Okay, here. Okay, all right. Okay, so then fair enough. Add new hookup in the view. Display list of pending events in the table. So I'll guess. Right. Yeah, and capture the.
And you see this planned events and pending events.
Yeah. So I'll if this one, if show current live sessions, you know, yeah, that was the thing that I'm thinking is really critically important. I mean, a review of the whole events thing. Yeah, it clearly needs to be done, and so on. So these are two bugs that I think are serious issues.
Absolutely.
Just in terms of priority, I'd say it's not critical, is it? Add site newsfeed, implement new relic rank projects by Git. That would be really useful, I think. I'm not sure about that one. That may be behind our.
Well, what is that user story?
Well, this is validate accessibility of videos. That might be related to this autograder client meetings. They're not showing up in the autograder project, but I'll leave that there to be discussed further. Let's pop that into there. Okay. You know, these things might be important for some people. I'm not seeing them as like critical. We must get them done immediately. But yeah, cheat sheet plan for introducing P. Yeah, that would be really handy. I think you know we basically stand or fall on our ability to welcome new people into the community and have them, you know, find a good way to work with us. Update list of everything about Slack.
Do we have a story about, you know, the screencast that we wanted to produce?
Yeah, all right. Site introduction screencasts. Yeah. There was
sort of
yeah. What was I? There was one I was going to say about. Oh yeah, I think this automatically adding the new members to Slack. Yeah, that would, you know, even. I think potentially relatively simple, and yeah, and then we've got that bug is not painful. Okay, and the events.
Can we slow down right now? I think there's plenty of stories here.
Oh yeah. No, I think I'm just now browsing my eyes over what the long tail, so to speak.
Okay. Yeah, sure. It's a pretty long tail.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a question about one of the stories in the iceberg. We have a document edit permissions.
Okay.
Just a quick recap on that. Do we want to add edit permissions?
I would prefer to avoid edit permissions until such time as it's demonstrated that we need it.
Okay, because so perhaps we can remove this feature, because for me it's a no. I mean, we spoke about our users being people we trust usually, so we don't want to have edit permissions.
And I think that was part of my motivation in adding the links to allow people to email on the front. I think the danger is that these things can be abused. I think it's like it wouldn't be completely insane to have it be that if we get the karma system in place, and so people would need to gain some small amount of karma before editing a document. Although I have mixed feelings about it. Anyway, I don't see that. I don't see any reason to delete it. Because I think there's a beginning of a discussion there, and that discussion could continue. So I would recommend against deleting it.
Mm.
But so let's have a look. Well, I think that's. I guess the only other thing there that hasn't been mentioned there is, it feels like it would be very useful to have the karma. I mean, we looked in the previous client meeting how the karma system is in place already, Thomas, and is that now about to is like a version that would rank the users in core terms of karma about to come through?
Well, actually, why didn't we accept this?
Well, I think that hadn't been delivered when I went through the. So this should be for the next.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure that it was deliverable at the time.
Okay, but it is there. So, we spoke about this. It's there, and the acceptance criteria for this particular story are met. But the way I see it, that the thing is that we should add new stories, or perhaps we write up new stories building upon of this. But the karma system is in place actually. But we're not using it for
I understand. Okay, no, that's fine. Well, I think that's covered it for me. I guess Thomas and Brian have mentioned some stories. Sly and Aditya, are there any particular stories or things that you feel are important changes in website 1? Any comments on this? Is kind of for relatively casual scanning of these things. I've put these what I see are the important things in approximate priority order, but I'm your proxy, as users of website 1 and Agile Ventures. Is there anything that I've missed, or is there an ordering that you would say I've got the priority kind of wrong?
No, firstly, I'm not aware of all the stories in the Icebox. I haven't had the time to review them all.
Sure.
I'm okay with the arrangement anyway. Just we'll have a look at the stories afterwards and see if there's something that I should start working on, because I've expressed my feelings before to the other members, but you weren't back still, I guess.
Sure.
I'm kind of new, and I'm not pretty much experienced in working with Ruby or as a developer.
Sure.
So I'm currently looking for some stories that are not too complicated to implement.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, great to have you with us. Apologies that I wasn't around when you joined.
No, it's okay. I just forgot to mention it again when I was introducing myself when you were back.
No problem at all. But I think stick around now, Thomas. You guys can vote on some of these stories. This is an opportunity for you, Sly, to find out maybe find out more about some of these stories, and maybe Thomas and Brian can help you identify ones that you might want to start.
Before we wrap up, Sam, I would like to point your attention to a story that involves site-wide search. I think I added it's in the Icebox.
Oh, okay.
And I think that could be a good thing for a start. when you look for certain information about, making information accessible to people. So, if you want,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, particularly now, to be honest, I have great trouble finding things in the documents. I think the search feature certainly could be useful. Feel free to move that onto the bottom of the backlog.
And also, there's this possibility for us to mark each model as something that we track. So as soon as there's any changes, we could have an activity feed on the landing page. That Thomas made a change in this and that document, or blah blah blah. I think that could be a good thing for us, and make that could make all new information on the site more accessible to every other user.
I mean, that sounds reasonable. I think we kind of want to fix the areas that we're bleeding from first. But yes, I mean, in general, we want to be cautious about adding more complexity. Let's see if we can, feel free to. I mean, any time I think people can, particularly you, Thomas and Brian. I mean, if you're agreeing amongst yourselves, add things onto the bottom of the backlog, and then when we have another client prioritization meeting, we can discuss about moving that down.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear your take on that.
No. I think both those things sound like they could be really valuable. It's the question about, of the many things that we could do, which are the ones that are gonna, pull in the most people. I mean, I think that the serious areas where we're kind of bleeding, as it were, is, as we've discussed already, the main landing page and the project's landing pages, and new people being added to Slack and being able to communicate with the community. So I think if we can address those things, then let's. But I'd put those things at slightly higher priority than those ones you mentioned there. But that they could be extremely in the long run. And of course, it's who knows which are the critical things that we need to change in order to have effect. So let's keep the discussion going. All right, cool. Well, I'll leave you guys to vote on those stories, and I guess I'll see what I can do in terms of making some of these things. But please help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Help me write these things, and maybe we can address that main issue. We'll certainly come back to that. Wednesday next week will be a good time for a client meeting. I will have to, because I'm starting a new job on Monday, so we'll have to see. But let's obviously we'll be in scrums and we'll keep talking. But by next Wednesday, we'll certainly look to readdress that issue of where we are with writing these things.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time.
All right. No, thank you all, and bye for now.
Yeah. So long.
All right.
Take care.
See you, Sam.
And for the rest of us, let me share my screen. Just to stay true to the workflow that we decided upon, I feel that we should wait with voting on these stories until into the dev meeting.
Yep. But I think what we can do now is just to define clear acceptance criteria, what the sort of approach we want to take, based on the descriptions here.
Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely.
So we can have a clear idea what we're voting for later on. No ambiguity.
Do you want to share your screen, perhaps, and we can, you can take a lead on writing those.
Sure.
Guys, I'm gonna get going because I will need to pair with Yaro, and
okay.
I think I'm not worried for the acceptance criteria anyway, because I'm even not aware of most of the stories.
Absolutely, that's your choice. I would say that it could be a good exercise, just to get to know those stories. But absolutely, if you have a previous
well, I guess it will be okay to join the next dev meeting, and I will take care to read the stories and the acceptance criteria in advance, so we could discuss and vote then.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So to be sure, when will be the next dev meeting?
I think we were trying to make it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Thomas.
Or we were talking about having one this weekend, but I don't think we can make it actually. So.
Yeah, I won't be available for the weekend as well, so I will be there on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Now,
Okay.
I was planning to work with you on this documents thing, but go ahead and you know, I can join you guys some other time.
I have no plan for the exact hour of pairing with Christopher, and I think he's in the US. Maybe it will be comfortable for him to work at the late hours tonight, and I'm not sure that I'm going to join. So we are going to probably have a ping pong on the GitHub and not a live pairing.
All right.
Anyway.
Just let me know if there's anything I can do. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. See you later then.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what do you say? Well, perhaps you know we can hold off on the acceptance criteria, and you guys can continue. I got to take off, you know, and do some stuff with Jessica. But Aditya, I mean, you guys were thinking about pairing on setting up the dev environment.
Yeah, but I can't stay for much longer now. I can try and quickly help Aditya.
Yeah, just give me 5 to 10 minutes. I need your 5 to 10 minutes only.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm gonna stop the broadcast now, so you guys can stay in this hangout. Is that it?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, fair enough. If it's just 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you very much for this meeting. It's again a productive meeting. So be on the lookout for the next dev meeting schedule on Slack. Okay.
Right.
Bye bye. So long.